Now, your father and your grandfather were both market gardeners.
Yes.
Did you ever dabble in that, or were you?
Well, I'm still dabbling in it, believe it or not. This morning I took a whole basket of cucumbers down to my favorite coffee shop and distributed it out. We have a 2-acre parcel in front of my house there, which we're still growing all of the fruits and vegetables, and not so much fruits, but fruit in the sense of watermelons and cantaloupe. And I put a big pumpkin patch in there for all my grandkids. And we've got a big patch of sunflowers so that the kids can enjoy the colors. But we just I put my peas in first, our tomatoes, our cucumbers, and our peppers and that. And the thing is, we grow in large quantities so we can share it with the whole staff here. So as we pick it here, we bring it down to the to where the guys check out and check in the mornings. And everybody shares in the produce here. And that's the way my dad always did it. That's the way my grandfather always believed in it.
I used to go to Cooksville Stone, and for $2, and I used to bring him a bottle of whiskey. Like, this was discarded stone, and I used to get it $2 a load. I always remember, I had a big load of, oh Christ, I had the 1-tonner on, and at least 6-7 ton loaded right. I come down Waterdown Road, and the policeman pulled me over. He said, geez, he said, you're kind of overloaded, eh? I said, yeah, I said, I am. Geez, he said, that's nice looking stone. And I knew right away. Well, he said, where'd you get that Cooksville stone? Geez, he said, I wouldn't mind some stone in my house.
What's a truckload now? A truck like that probably be into, you know, $600–700 for a load of drywall stone now. So sure enough, this cop, he was the old form of police officer that was here in the Halton region. You know, whatever they could get for nothing. I mean, they would do it instead of giving you a ticket. So geez, if he didn't come into the yard there about 2 weeks later with a truck bigger than what my dad had, and my dad would have been better off paying the fine, because he got to know this guy so well that the guy was in the yard almost every day. Or every other week for some form of product, either a shrub or this and that. But I can guarantee you, for all the years that he was there, we never got another ticket for speeding, overloaded, anything else. And that was the way life was back in those days.
But you know that Steve Thompson, he's dead now. He just died last year. We've been friends ever since. Ever since till he died.
That was the cop?
Yeah, that was the cop.
So you didn't get a ticket?
No, I didn't get no ticket.
We dug this irrigation pond here, and one thing my dad always loved was bringing the kids down, and he used to stock this every year with rainbow trout, and he always brought in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. These are kids that were suffering with cancer, and we always had an annual fish derby down and through here. We haven't done it the last couple of years, but we've changed now. The school down the road is a school for autism. So the autistic children have been coming up once a year. They have a summer picnic up here, and they fish in the pond, because it's an experience that, you know, a lot of them will never get a chance to in their lifetime. All of these trees that you see here were all planted by my dad when we first developed the farm property here. And in fact, that particular tree right there nearly killed him, because when they put the tree in, it turned, and he was holding the ball to try to steer and direct it, and it hit the hydro lines, and all the voltage came down through and knocked him right on his butt. And he was lucky he wasn't electrocuted. Even though we argued, we understood one another. And the thing is, as he got to the point where he couldn't get on the job site, I used to enjoy having him come on the job site. Even though he was hard on you, he had a good eyesight, and he had a good attention to detail. And the thing is, probably why I used to get angry, probably, is that he was always right all the time, and it used to bug me all the time. Sometimes you knew there was something wrong, but you just couldn't put your finger on it. He'd come out and he'd probably pinpoint it right away. But I think his reasoning for arguing was there was always fear. And because he went through tough times, and his father and him, they went through the Depression, and they lost half of the farm in the 30s. And I think because he maybe didn't have all the education in the world, and he was doing it all on his own, and he was learning as he went along, I think there was always that fear there that there was going to be a major mistake, that he was going to lose it all, and there was always that fear that he was going to lose it for the family. So I think the arguments came out of fear. So in other words, if I continue to question you, if you don't have the right answers, we can correct it quickly so that we don't run ourselves into trouble and difficulty. And after a while, I got to understand that, and I got to respect that. And I got to understand why he was always arguing. And then after that, the arguments became a lot softer and a lot less frequent. And then we used to take and get out, and we'd then have our coffees. But he'd always question me only because he wanted to make sure that the answers were right, because he was always fearful that as we were growing and we were getting too big, are you sure, Bill, that we're not running ourselves into trouble? And that was always his fear. Don't get too big. Don't run ourselves into trouble, because, Bill, we got a good thing here. Let's not lose it.